The tale of the Sword in the Stone is one that's captivated us since childhood, weaving its magic through our dreams and imaginations. Now, mention King Arthur, and suddenly, the story takes on a whole new layer of mystique. But hold your horses, or should I say, knights, because there's a twist in this tale. You see, amidst the legends and lore, there's another sword, another stone, and a whole other story that some argue is the real story, leaving our beloved Arthurian legend in the sea of suspicion. So what's the truth? Was King Arthur just a figment of medieval imagination, or was there a glimmer of truth to the tales sung by bards under the starry sky? Get ready, because we're about to unravel the secrets of King Arthur, the enigmatic sword in the stone, and the alternative legends that have fueled debates and curiosity for centuries. But first, a quick reminder. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, so you're always in the loop with our historical deep dives. Now let's slice through the myths and uncover the truth behind one of the greatest legends of all time. Chapter 1. Who was King Arthur? Who was King Arthur, really? Peel back the layers of myth and legend, and you might just find a man named Arthurus, a real-life hero who stood tall, probably with an impressive beard, as he led the Celtic Britons against Anglo-Saxons in the 5th century. But don't go looking for his name in the history books under A for Arthur or even Arturus, because, plot twist, Arturus wasn't his name. It was more of a cool title that meant bear. Yes, before he was King Arthur, he was essentially Mr. Bear, a champion of the Celts. Now, despite the Saxons' best efforts, they couldn't snuff out the Celtic fire in places like Cornwall, Cumberland, and Wales. It's here that the Celts kept the party going, reminiscing about the glory days in their old pal Arturus. As the centuries rolled on, Arturus, the military MVP, got a major promotion in the annals of folklore and became King Arthur of England. Dig a little deeper, and some historians will tell you Arthur might have been rocking the title of Dukes, or Duke of Britain, a nod to the Roman bigwigs of the day. But as the Roman influence started to fade faster, their titles got a bit chaotic, and King became the go-to label for Celtic leaders strutting their stuff across the British Isles. Ancient breadcrumbs suggest Arthur was a warrior whose mixtape of battle hits topped the charts for a while before he met a tragic end in a civil war sparked by the mysterious Battle of Camlin around AD 537. And who was Arthur's father? Possibly Ambrosius Aurelianus, another Duke of Britain, laying the groundwork for Arthur's eventual rise and fall in a period rife with turf wars and dramatic plot twists. So, as we connect the dots from ancient records and Celtic whispers, the image of Arthur that emerges is less about round tables and holy grails, and more about a warrior king whose legacy, like the best of legends, is written as much in the hearts of those who remember him as in the stone and soil of Britain itself. Chapter 2. King Arthur from the Eyes of Historians. After King Arthur took his final bow, leaving the world stage for the eternal halls of Avalon, his story was far from over. In fact, it was just getting its second wind, thanks to a bunch of medieval scribes and storytellers who decided that Arthur's life needed a bit more spice. And so, the legend of King Arthur blossomed like the finest of medieval tapestries, woven with threads of fantasy, heroism, and a dash of medieval soap opera. It all started with Geoffrey of Monmouth, circa 1135, and his blockbuster hit, Historia Regum Britanniae, History of the Kings of Britain. Geoffrey was like the J.K. Rowling of his day, adding layers to Arthur's story that would make even the most experienced bard blush. Then there was Nennius, who, a bit earlier in the 12th century, penned Historia Britannum, listing all of Arthur's greatest hits against the Saxons and Angles, making sure everyone knew Arthur wasn't just a one-battle wonder. But wait, the plot thickens with the arrival of Chrétien de Troyes, the French writer who decided that Arthur's court needed a serious makeover. Chrétien threw in some knights, a dash of medieval chivalry, a sprinkle of courtly love, and voila, the Arthurian romance was born. Sir Lancelot? That was all Chrétien. And Guinevere and Camelot? Yep, him again. Chrétien basically turned Arthur's life into the medieval equivalent of a hit Netflix series. However, the man who really put Arthur on the map, making him the rock star of medieval literature, was none other than Sir Thomas Malory, with his Les Morts d'Arthur, published in 1485. Malory did for Arthur what Homer did for Odysseus, turned him into a legend for the ages. He took all those oral tales, those fragments of parchment and ink, and gave us the Arthur we know and love today. A hero in shining armor, battling not just for Britain, but for the very soul of chivalry itself. So while Arthur might have been the king of the Britons, it was these literary legends who crowned him the eternal king of storytelling, ensuring his adventures would captivate audiences for centuries to come. Chapter 3: The Modern Legend of King Arthur. Alright, let's zoom forward to the modern legend of King Arthur, a tale that's captivated the imaginations of young and old alike, thanks in no small part to Walt Disney's The Sword in the Stone. This 1963 animated classic introduced a whole new generation to a young boy destined for greatness with a little magical nudge from the wise and wacky Merlin. Based on the novel by T.H. White, this version adds a whimsical twist to the legend, proving that the story of Arthur can be as lighthearted as it is deep. But let's not forget the heavyweight of Arthurian literature, Sir Thomas Malory's Les Morts d'Arthur, a tome that brings us back to the grit and gravitas of the original saga. Here, Arthur's tale is no child's play, but an epic of noble highs and tragic lows. Conceived under the shroud of illegitimacy, Arthur rises to become king by pulling the sword from the stone, establishing the Knights of the Round Table, and doing the legendary stuff that everyone knows about. Yet Malory's narrative isn't without its dark twist. Adulterous affairs, quest for the Holy Grail, and the ultimate betrayal by Arthur's son, Mordred. It's a story that weaves together the themes of loyalty, honor, and the tragic cost of human foolery, ending in a battle that sees both Mordred and Arthur fall. In its final, poignant scenes, Arthur is transported to the Vale of Avalon, leaving behind a legacy that would echo through the ages. What's fascinating is how these stories, whether framed by Disney's animation or Malory's meticulous prose, continue to shape our understanding of King Arthur. From the whimsical to the weighty, the legend of King Arthur thrives, adapting to the times while retaining its core, captivating essence. It's a testament to the power of storytelling, showing us that some tales are truly timeless. Chapter 4: The Sword in the Stone and Saint Gargano Guidati. Now let's move from the mythical lands of Camelot to the rolling hills of Siena, Italy, where a tale not of kings and wizards but of knights and saints weaves its own magic into the fabric of history. Here lies a 900-year-old sword, not claimed by a legendary king, but by Saint Gargano Guidati, a man whose transformation from an arrogant knight to a humble saint could rival any Arthurian legend. Gargano, born in 1148, was everything you'd picture a medieval knight to be. Brave, skilled, and, let's not sugarcoat it, quite the hothead, living for nothing but battle and indulgence. That was until visions of Archangel Michael played a celestial intervention, pitching him the idea of swapping his sword for the cross. Gargano eventually wandered to a hilltop, which resembled the place he was shown in his visions. Skeptically, Gargano thrust his sword into a rock, expecting it to snap. Instead, it sliced through like a hot knife through butter, becoming his cross and marking his commitment to a life of piety. Fast forward to his death in 1185, and Gargano was declared a saint, with the Monte Siepi Chapel built around his legendary sword in the stone. Attempts to pull the sword have all met with failure, and yes, there's even a tale of a devil-sent assassin turned into Wolf Chow with his mummified hands on display as a cautionary tale. Cynics might scoff at the story, labeling it a medieval marketing stunt by the church, but here's where things get interesting. Recent tests on the sword and those creepy hands date back to the 12th century, aligning perfectly with Gargano's timeline. Radar even hints at a burial recess beneath the stone, possibly Gargano's final resting place. So while we might never fully untangle myth from fact, the legend of Saint Gargano Guidati and his sword in the stone stands as a testament to faith, transformation, and the enduring power of a good story. And who knows, maybe there's a bit of magic in believing that sometimes swords and stones are more than just metal and rock. So what do you think is the truth, and what is fiction? Was there a King Arthur, or is he just a fictional character? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll be back with another video soon.